If somebody says they want to wait, I respect it. Of course, I go through the objection handling. I try to work with them, ask them really what their motivations are, and just really being a good listener and working with them and never making them feel like they're pressured to do anything. I want what's best for them. And I think they really appreciate that. And because of that, we get back out there, put offers in, strong offers, because I like to call listing agents first and kind of figure out the lay of the land, if there's interest, if there's offers, make it very collaborative. And a lot of the time they choose my offers.
A lot of agents, as soon as they get an objection, they fold immediately. And I hear this on live transfer calls that we send to them. They don't know how to speak to people. You're listening to the #1 real estate podcast in the world, where we talk with real estate professionals all across North America about their wins, losses, lessons, stories, help you win in your local market today. My name is Cody from Sheridan Street. I'm joined with Vikram Deol of the Real Estate Sales Academy. This is the last episode we're doing, not entirety, just for the...
I was like, we're done? We're done? Wow.
We're done.
I didn't know that.
I'm going on hiatus. No, this is the last episode of the day. This has been a busy Friday. For those that don't know, we record all of our episodes on Friday. We batch them. We've done 4 episodes today. So we've just been back to back to back with podcasts. When we literally just got off a podcast, we're going to roll out where Vikram and I chatted about role playing and scripting and all these good things that people need to do in order to win in the market today. But that's a whole nother podcast. And we're going to get into our guests here in a second. Before we get there, Vikram, how you doing?
Yes, I'm doing great, Cody. How are you?
You sure? You doing well?
I'm doing, the last couple of weeks, I've been really focusing in on creating my own sales system and structure, because I've hired some people and some people have quit because my processes weren't very good, right? Like, people don't leave because they don't like you. They leave because they don't see that's one reason, but they also leave because they don't see a future with your company.
Yeah.
And I realized when I brought on these people, like, I was doing things that I knew inherently how to do, but it wasn't written out. And like, as you start writing out your processes and your systems and everything, man, like, it's a lot of work, bro.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of weekends.
It is a lot of work, bro. 100%. Like, I told my operations director this week, I'm like, we're launching a trial on Monday. She's like, okay. She's like, what is this trial going to look like? And then, like, I've learned over the last couple of years, the larger agency that we get, the more that we have to kind of slow things down. When you're in the beginning, it's like you can work all weekend and roll it out to one person. But when you have different departments, you need to roll things out to. Like, we rolled out this trial and somehow we pulled together all of the operations, the onboarding to the Slack channel, to the Monday columns, to the salesperson,
the assets.
And we rolled it. The assets. Yeah, we rolled it, but we rolled it out. We officially rolled it out yesterday, which is like very, very strange that we rolled it out that quickly, but it's super exciting. But what else is happening in your world?
Well, that's a testament to the processes actually working after so many years of putting them together. Like, the testament is like, okay, now we're going to launch something new. Let's see what happens. And 3 days, you're like, holy crap, this actually works. And it's actually working the way it's supposed to, but it's not because you didn't put in the years in the dark where nobody saw the things. So, I mean, that's it. No, man, I think our last podcast we did, I think we should do like one of those every week where we just role play and give tonality nuggets. We give cadence nuggets. We give objection handlers. We give like frameworks around the scripts, because between the two of us, I would say we probably have more experience on a day-to-day basis talking to agents about their challenges than most people that most agents have access to.
100%.
So yeah, should we?
We have a guest. We do, though. We do. 100%. Well, this is not another 25-minute, ramble between you and I.
That was a good ramble.
It wasn't really a ramble. The last was
really good.
Yeah, there was a lot of value, I think. But why don't you intro our guest? Why don't we invite somebody into this conversation?
Okay, I guess so. We got Celine. So Celine actually is in my old stomping grounds. I used to sell real estate in Bellevue. She's just a little bit farther north than where I was. So it's kind of cool to have somebody on the podcast that we know the same areas, which is cool. But she's been licensed for like 5 years, started selling 3 years ago. She got off to like a really rocky start, probably sold like 30 houses. She's doing like 3 to 4 sales a month right now. I attribute a lot of the success that she has to her previous work role, like where she was actually running a lot of operation stuff, because what people don't realize in real estate, it's operations. If you can manage the operations, some of the other stuff becomes a little bit easier. And so she's crushing it right now. Like I think this year alone, you've done what, 15 deals, 12 deals?
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, like she is just annihilating it. And so Celine Williams from Snohomish County, welcome to the RE Agent Podcast. Cody and I are excited to jam with you. I guess when we just jump right in, like I want to know, like, why do you think your operational background, where you were running a lot of different departments, how did that make the transition for you into real estate really easy?
I was always the go-to resource, right, for everything. So as an office administrator, you're wearing so many different hats. Mm-hmm. So people are coming to me for like IT, facilities, event planning, conference room booking. So I just like knew how to do everything and then would help others find out how to do it. I feel like it's the exact same thing with real estate. I'm showing people the process to buy. I'm showing the people the process to sell. And I love doing it. I'm such a people person. Like social connection is huge for me. And with COVID, I didn't have that. So that's really where the big switch came. I was doing operations management, but I couldn't see anybody because everybody was working from home. And I said, you know what? I've had my license for a while. Let's try this. And it worked out pretty well.
In the beginning, when you were kind of transitioning, because you transitioned in the pandemic market, it sounds like, 3 years, like during what was a lot of us considered a momentum-based market. Like we're 100% now in a skills-based market. And we've chatted about this before. Like, I'm curious to know, somebody that is still killing it in a skills-based market, there is clearly things that you did in the beginning. Like, what did you do in the beginning that you might not do now? And what are some things that you're doing now that you might have not done in the beginning that have kind of led up to even 12 transactions or 15 transactions this year? Because I've had so many conversations with real estate agents this year that have been in the business for 10 years. And I've had conversations with people that are used to doing 10, 20, 30 transactions, and they haven't even sold a home yet this year. So like, what are some things that you're doing differently, or you're doing the same from the time that you started?
I guess the same would be just acting like everything is still pretty urgent, right? Even when things were slow, and always making sure that my client feels completely informed with what the market is doing. Whether it's slow, fast, how is it going to benefit them? And really just painting the right picture for them. I'm fantastic with my follow-up. So if somebody says they want to wait, I respect it. Of course, I go through the objection handling, try to work with them, ask them really what their motivations are, and just really being a good listener, and working with them and never making them feel like they're pressured to do anything. I want what's best for them. And I think they really appreciate that. And because of that, we get back out there. We put offers in, strong offers, because I like to call listing agents first and kind of figure out the lay of the land, if there's interest, if there's offers, make it very collaborative. And a lot of the time they choose my offers. And so my clients end up winning.
Let's go tactical here for a second, because I think that a lot of agents out there, as soon as they get an objection, they immediately fold. They fold immediately. And I hear this on live transfer calls that we send to them. They don't know how to speak to people. What is one objection that you're getting right now in the marketplace, and how are you overcoming it?
The main objection I'm getting in the marketplace right now is probably I'm waiting for the market to crash. And like, if the market was going to crash, it's kind of already done it, right? I mean, we saw interest rates go up. Sellers were basically paying buyers to buy their homes by doing seller credits, by buying down interest rates, right? So they came down, and now I think the shock of the interest rate has kind of left the building. Buyers are out again, and there's also very low inventory. So really just finding out why they're not wanting to buy, and then trying to remove those obstacles.
So you said something that I'm curious about, because I'm a believer with all of my clients. I'm a believer with my team. I'm a believer with every business I've had. If you can get somebody in front of you, you have an opportunity to learn about them, and you may or may not be able to help them, or that we don't know. We don't really know their timeline because we don't have enough information. When you say you're really like making sure your client's informed, do you have a process that you follow from, because you buy online leads, right? You buy Zillow leads.
I do.
So like you get a Zillow lead, they tell you like on the phone, they're not in a rush to buy. They're not pre-approved, right? The standard like walls of resistance go up. When you talk to a Zillow lead that says, hey, Celine, you sound like an awesome person, but I'm 6 months to a year out. I don't need to meet with you. Do you try to push for a meeting immediately to see if they're actually motivated, or do you have like a process you follow that allows you to get in front of these people?
So, I mean, honestly, the first time I'm meeting these people is when we're right there going to show homes. So my consultation starts right at the time I pick up that phone call. And I'm already trying to build that rapport, trying to figure out. So if they shoot me an objection, like I'm waiting for 6 months or we're still not ready, I go through my spiel of, okay, well, that's fantastic, because in reality, you want to get a pre-approval now. So then if you do have any blemishes or issues, we can resolve the issue now and then get you prepared for 6 months. Me and my team, we help you have a success strategy to get your home once you're finally ready. And then they're just kind of like, oh.
It sounds like you memorized a script, right? Was that a script that you followed?
Oh, that's just me now. I mean, I not really scripting, just kind of like doing it over and over and practicing with people.
Yeah. So you've developed your own script by time in the saddle, seeing what works and analyzing and things like that, right?
Do a lot of role playing in my office too. So every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we start the day off with role playing. So we talk about whatever scenario is going on, like maybe somebody's had a challenge. So we talk about it and then we role play that scenario. And then our managing broker and the branch manager kind of give us tips on how we can be better.
Cody, we were just literally talking about how the skill of role playing is like this weird thing. But if you don't have somebody that's better than you to give you the feedback, and that's what we were talking about in the last one. So it's funny you say that. When we talk about the market crashing, it's a lot of fear, right? And but you also have an ability to educate your prospect on why or why not it may or may not be the right time for them to buy. Where are you finding the information? Because again, a lot of real estate agents, they work really hard that they don't have the energy to go home and like research things. Where do you find information on your local market and maybe the national market, or is it just from your broker?
I usually focus on I get training from my broker, obviously, but I'm always in the market. Like I'm pretty much doing something real estate related every single day. So I feel like I can speak on it very well.
Yeah.
When you I think that information is super valuable, and like how you're able to overcome objections and how you're able to actually get the right information in front of the right person is super important. Now, you said that you're doing Zillow. You've done like quite a few transactions, and we were chatting earlier about how vast majority of agents that like they're just struggling right now, and they're struggling for multitudes of different reasons. And one of them being like the lead to client process. Like what does that look like for you? Like, what does that buyer consult look like? Like, can you walk us through what a buyer consult would look like with Celine?
So most of my buyer consults are over the phone, just in a conversation. Then I send an email after to kind of go over everything, because obviously the home buying process can be pretty expansive. So I've kind of always told people I have something called the 7 steps to home ownership, right? First, talking to a realtor and deciding to buy. Second, getting pre-approved, so we know exactly where your price range is, what type of lending, any down payment assistance. Third is figuring out your criteria. What are your wants, needs, price point, location? Fourth, we're going to start home shopping, which is the most fun part. Fifth, we're going to go ahead and start doing our due diligence, putting in offers and negotiating. You tell me you like a house, I'm calling the listing agent right away, finding out what exactly the motivation of the seller is and how can we win this offer and make sure both of our clients feel like they're winning. Sixth is getting our offer accepted and the due diligence process. So inspection, appraisal, all of that, closing docs. And then 7 is getting the keys on closing day. And in my presentation or email, it's like bullet points. So they know, they feel educated and empowered on the entire process. So then by the time we go to look at houses, they feel like they know me and they feel like they understand the process pretty well.
Love it. Process creates confidence.
Yeah.
And when you don't have a process, right? Like, even if your process is the same cookie cutter process as everybody else, the fact that you have a process gives the person a lot of confidence. Like if you ordered a In-N-Out burger and it came differently every time, you wouldn't go to In-N-Out. You'd be like, oh, they don't have a good process. The reason why people buy, certain things around the world is because they have an idea of what it's going to show up as, because that gives them confidence. When you set your clients up with this process, right? And yours is pretty simple. It's like, hey, we chat on the phone, I send you an email, we go look at homes.
Yep. If they're not already pre-approved, right, then I connect them with my lender partner that I feel like would be the best fit, right? And then they work that out, get the pre-approval letter to me, and we go out. Yeah.
So your process, it's pretty simple, right? Like it's not very challenging. How long are your conversations with these people? Because a lot of people like, oh, people don't want to talk to us on the phone. So are you booking an appointment to talk to them for half an hour? Or are you just picking up the phone when the lead comes in and talking to them for half an hour?
Picking up the phone and talking to them. And I kind of gauge it, right? I gauge how receptive they're being to the questions that I'm asking.
Right.
So
you're communicating.
Correct. Yeah. I'm not trying to fire hose them right away. And I even asked them, well, if you're free right now, I'd be happy to walk you through the entire process. It would take about 15 minutes. And most of the time they comply because they want to know.
Right.
They don't know what they don't know.
I really just need to stress this because I've talked to teams that do like exceptionally well. And during the good years, they're like, Vic, you're an idiot for doing buyer presentations. And I was always like, well, there's going to come a time where the market shifts and my people aren't going to know what to do. So we need to be prepared for that shift, which is here now. When you talk about, when you share your process to your clients, do you feel like when they show up, they have like an instant trust with you, like a rapport with you that like allows you to have influence over them that maybe if you didn't follow this process, you wouldn't have?
I do. Because I feel like they trust me enough to, like, once we meet, then it's like solidified, right? And then I also come to the meeting knowing all the facts about the house that they're interested in and just using some of the things that they have said in our conversation to steer future conversations.
Got it. When you are like your background of like running admin and doing operations, like you had mentioned that recently you had just brought on a TC who's taking care of a lot of the back end paperwork in the transaction coordination process. I'm curious to know, like, kind of like with you doing the amount of transactions you're doing, obviously you're looking towards the future and you're looking towards like, even bringing out a TC, maybe it's an admin, like what, like for that agent, I'm curious to get into your head around what you're thinking next. Like when an agent starts to have success, one of the strongholds that we see a lot of agents face is like, do I build a team? Do I not build a team? Like what is going through your head as the growth is happening?
Well, I just started working on my managing broker's license. So it's definitely on my mind to build a team. I think the first hire I'm going to have after my TC is probably an admin. I'd like this admin to have their license and encourage them to grow, right? So I think what I want to do is kind of one of my girlfriend, Rachel, who recommended me to this, her model, which is have an admin, have them kind of have a 2-year commitment to you. You'll teach them everything, but they'll also be kind of their right-hand man. And it's a really good, solid partnership. So then I can take time off and still feel like I can trust my partner to move forward, and hopefully we can grow that way.
Love that. Yeah, that's that's a really cool model and approach. I've seen different models out there, and a lot of real estate agents, because they don't know how to structure a business, they want to start hiring team members to go out and sell before they have the foundation. And then you just pile a bunch of crap on top of a bunch of crap. And it's like, oh my God, why are things breaking? So with you doing it this way, it's interesting. And to partner with your admin is kind of interesting as well, because you're creating a different structure. I want to switch gears a little bit, if that's okay with you guys, because you say that you do a lot of stuff on social media.
Huh?
Do you have a huge following on social media?
I mean, I have 1,600 followers on Instagram.
On Instagram. Yeah.
So it's not amazing, but I do have a lot of engagement, and I've gotten, 54% of my business was from social media last year.
Whoa, time out. Hold on. You're not allowed, as a real estate agent, you are not allowed to know where your sources of business come from. So,
Sorry.
Guys, we need to erase what Celine just said. And I think I get some business from social. Can you just rephrase it like that for us? So you're getting half of your business from 54% of your business is coming from social media, but your social media following is what most people would be like, oh, it's so small. Like I don't, when I get to 10,000, then I'll start to focus on it. How are you, like when I go to your page, I see your Instagram, I'm like, oh, I like this comment where I like this post where she's with her kids at the baseball game. What do you do from there? Do you just ignore the post? Do you put a heart on it? Do you just like, oh, these people are stupid, I'm not at 10,000 people yet? Like, what do you have a system or a process you're following to engage these people?
I just engage. I mean, I also try to
learn more about this. I just engage.
And just engage. Yeah, I try to provide value as much as possible, right? Okay. So I went to this seminar maybe 2 years ago, and it was just about how to amp up your social media game and really how to utilize it. And it's as easy as posting one thing a day. Yeah. One thing a day. And he was even about like not having a business and a personal. So I just have one social media. So you're seeing my transactions, you're seeing my clients, you're seeing my kids, you're seeing my vacations, whatever. Because at the end of the day, you're working with me, and this is my business. This is my life. So a lot of the time people feel like they know me by the time they get to me when it's on social media. And I'm all about video. Like I do tons of video, social media, post, reels, carousels, whatever. So when I first got into business, I was all into Tom Ferry, and he's like, video is where it's at. So I said, okay, let's go. With
your social, right? Why do you feel people are coming to you versus other? Because I know there's a lot of people who put out a lot of great content, similar stuff to you. They get decent engagement, but they're not pulling anything out of it. What is the difference? Like, unpack engagement a little bit for us. Like, how are you getting into their DMs? Are you just talking to them on the main post? Like, where are you engaging with these people?
Honestly, just having authentic conversations with them. Oh, sorry. Send a voicemail.
We're getting a call. We're getting a new
Hello, Lee. You gotta pick that up.
You know, you got to pick up 75%.
And I wouldn't be back for a while.
Yeah, at least 17 minutes.
Honestly, I'm on social media entirely too much. Okay. And so I figured, why not monetize this or like use this to my advantage in my real estate business? When I first started my real estate, like Homes with Celine is what my handle is, I had 430 followers. So I've organically grown to 1,600. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but in my books, that's quite a bit, because my
people with 50,000 that don't make a single dollar. And there's people with 500 that are making millions. So,
and I refuse to pay. Yeah, and I refuse to pay for followers too, because I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you could just pay for followers and have like 50,000 followers," but that's not my thing. So I'm just actively posting things that are going on my day, things like a life of the realtor, or hey, prepping for an open house, prepping for a listing. Here are the things that you should know if you're buying in this market right now. These are amazing restaurants in Snohomish County. Just really being the neighborhood expert. And I get on very like genuinely and authentically. So I think they get to see my face. They get to hear my voice. They just feel like they know me. Like I've met people in public and they'd be like, oh my God, it's Helms with Celine. And I'm like, oh my God.
I felt like this is exactly how our conversation was going to go by looking at your social profile. So I'm like, it's 100% correct.
It's wild. But I mean, I love that people feel like they know me and we can just kind of like shoot like cut the bullshit of small talk and get right into it.
It makes all the difference. And we share the same type of ethos to like social media where it's like you share a portion of your business, a portion of personal, and people absolutely feel like they know you. And I love what you said about being kind of almost like the mayor. It almost makes you the mayor of like your area. You become like the mayor of the people that follow you, where they're like, oh, she's here. Oh, she's here. Oh, she's at this local restaurant. So I absolutely love that. And it just even talking to you makes me understand on a deeper level the amount of success that you've had in such a short amount of time. If somebody were to want to reach out to you, maybe it's an agent-to-agent referral, maybe it is to learn a little bit more about what you're doing, maybe it's to follow you on social media, kind of wrapping up here, where's the best place that we can send them in order to learn a little bit more about Homes with Celine, to kind of follow you and watch your journey?
Yeah, so pretty much everything is Homes with Celine. So Instagram and TikTok, and I think Twitter as well. And then you can feel free to shoot me an email at homeswithceline@gmail.com. Super simple.
Celine, I just want to say thank you. It's super inspiring to see everything you're doing in such a short amount of time, and just seeing like, the level of dedication that you put into your business and to just help more people in your local community, and just even that shift of mindset that a lot of agents,
It's crazy that a lot of people that are in the business for 10 years are thinking about getting a job, and you have been in the business for 3 years and you're just completely like, I refuse to let the market dictate my future. So kudos.
I can't go back to corporate America after I've got this business. Even though, yes, you are working probably more hours sometimes, it's just, I love what I do. I genuinely love it. And I think my clients feel that. And there's nothing like telling them that their offer got accepted, or, making sure that everything is seamless throughout the entire process, and getting that closing gift from me and holding the sign that says, I said yes to the address, like little tiny amazing moments that just make everything.
The address. I love that.
Yeah.
Celine, I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for tuning into another episode of the RE Agent Podcast, the #1 real estate podcast in the world. We'll see you soon.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Yeah, do it.
I'm telling you, all we know,
right?
We got to give you a CTA. So hook us up. This is a ton of work. I'm going to keep saying that because I think we record 5 hours a week, and then there's about another 25 hours a week in post-production and putting stuff out. And we launch 5 episodes a week for you guys. Hook us up with just a like if you got any value at all.
Well, we'll see you soon.